My mom lied about being sick to take my inheritance. I said no and lost my family. My name is Anna. I'm 27 years old and I'm from Krakow. In Poland, family is everything. It's common to help your relatives, go to church together on Sundays, and have big family dinners on every holiday. I believed in that too, until I received an unexpected inheritance. I barely remember my father. He left for Germany when I was 6. My mom told me he chose another life and I will be both mother and father to you. She raised us alone, working as a nurse and pulling night shifts at the hospital. When I was 10, she married Janusz, a bus driver. He was very traditional, football matches, Sunday dinners with bigos and pierogi, prayer before every meal. A year later, my half-brother Michał was born. From that moment on, all the attention went to him. I was already a teenager and felt like I'd become extra. When Michał took his first steps, I was mopping the floors. When he started first grade, I was told to figure out my own school path. He got the gifts, the clubs, the sports activities. I got, you're old enough, you'll manage. Janusz treated me politely but without warmth. I once overheard him say to his friends, she's not mine. At 16, I left home and started working, first as a waitress, then as a cashier. It was just enough for a small dorm room and cheap clothes. I tried night school for design but dropped out because I had to work full-time. Now I rent a tiny apartment, count every penny, and pay off a loan for an old Fiat Punto. Recently, my biological father passed away. I didn't cry. He was basically a stranger. But a week later, I got a call from a notary in Hamburg. You have been left half of an apartment. I didn't understand why he did this. Maybe it was his way of apologizing. I went to see her. The house smelled like Jurek soup and fresh bread. She sat me at the table and said, Anna, I have a problem. The doctors found something with my heart. I need surgery. Through the public NFZ insurance, it could take half a year, and I can't wait. They'll pay part of it, but I need extra money, and we don't have it. I asked, Mom, are you sure you can't wait? Don't you have a referral? She answered, I do, but you know how things work here. I'm not asking for much, just enough to get it done quickly. I left feeling heavy. She's my mom. She raised me while my dad lived his own life. Maybe I really should help? The next day, Janusz called. He said, Anna, Maria told you everything, right? You know this is serious. We're already in debt. You can fix everything with one signature. Just give up the inheritance and the apartment will go to us. Family needs to stick together. I said I hadn't decided yet, and he replied, decide fast. Maria can't be left waiting. Then, distant relatives started calling. Anna, what's wrong with you? Your mother is sick, and you're thinking about yourself? You're her daughter, not a stranger. Even on Facebook, posts started appearing. Some children forget who raised them. The last straw was a call from Michał. Anna, are you serious? Mom is sick and you're arguing? I thought you were better than this. Are money more important to you? I whispered, Michał, I don't know what to do. He said, just know this. If something happens to Mom, it's on you. I don't know what to do. She's my mom. I want to help. Of course, her health is important. But honestly, I have doubts. She never mentioned heart problems, and now suddenly it's an emergency and a huge sum of money. Something feels off. And the whole family jumped on me so fast. People I hadn't spoken to in years are suddenly calling, pressuring me. It feels like Mom called everyone to guilt trip me. I want to help, but deep inside, I don't fully trust this whole situation. What would you do? Give up part of it so you don't risk your mom's health? Or keep it and make sure you know what's really going on first? Update 1. A few weeks later. Thank you to everyone who gave me advice and support. I decided not to sign anything just yet and to check everything first. And here's what I found out. I ran into Aunt Katarzyna, my mom's cousin. We rarely talked, but she came up to me in the shopping center. Anna, how are you holding up? I don't know, Auntie. Mom is in trouble. She needs urgent surgery. She looked at me strangely. What surgery? I talked to her yesterday. She's healthy as a horse. Wait, did she tell you it's about her heart? Yes. She said she needed private treatment. Katarzyna paused and then quietly added, Anna, they're raising money for Michał. He needs to pay for school and housing in Warsaw, and he wants a car. Maria was worried you wouldn't give it, so she made up the story about her health. I froze inside. So that's it? I almost gave up part of my inheritance thinking it was life or death, but it was actually about a car and tuition? On the way home, memories flooded back. Heather, how I once asked for new boots and was told, "You're old enough, wear them another season." How Mihao got a brand new bicycle while I rode an old one. Every said Mihao is our future, while I always felt like an outsider. I called her. "Mom, why did you lie to me?" "What are you talking about?" "About your heart. You're healthy. You just wanted money for Mihao." "So what? He's your brother. You're supposed to help family." "You were ready to lie to force me to give you money? Is that okay with you? I worked my whole life for you, and now you want to take away our chance for a future." I hung up. My hands were shaking, and for the first time I felt truly angry. I wanted to help, but not like this. Not through lies and pressure. That money was left to me by my father. Yes, the same man who abandoned us. But even then, he chose me, not them. And I don't owe them just because I'm family. I've decided for sure I'm not signing anything away, but I have a feeling this conflict is only beginning. What do you think? Should I have forgiven them for lying for the good of the family? Or was I right to say no? After that meeting, my mom messaged me, "Anna, maybe we can settle this ourselves. Just give us at least half and we'll drop the case." I didn't reply. The next day she wrote again, "Don't make us your enemies. Think about your brother." I couldn't even look at those messages anymore. All I felt inside was disappointment and anger. The courtroom in Hamburg was strict and cold, with high ceilings and harsh light. The judge listened to both sides. My mom's lawyer repeated the same argument: moral rights, family abandonment. The father was buried without his daughter's involvement. Martin stood and said, "These are emotional arguments, but the law here is clear. The will is legally valid, and there are no grounds for Erbenwürdigkeit. Furthermore, we have evidence of coercion and public dissemination of false information regarding the mother's health." The judge concluded briefly, "The claim is dismissed. The will is valid. The apartment share belongs to Anna." My mom walked right past me without even looking. Janusz muttered, "You chose to be alone." That evening, Mikhail texted me, "You destroyed our life. I hope you're happy." I sat in my hotel room feeling both relieved and empty. I had won, but the price was my family. Update 3, 6 months later. 6 months have passed since the court, and my life has completely changed. My mom hasn't sent me a single message. Michael blocked me on all social media, and Janusz stopped answering my calls. And I didn't try to reach out first either. We had become strangers, even at Christmas, when in Poland it's tradition to leave an empty seat at the table for a traveler or stranger. I sat alone, realizing that for them, I was no longer family. But life is strange. Aunt Katarzyna, the one who first told me the truth, became a real friend. We now talk every week. Some cousins who had stayed silent before wrote to me, "Anna, we didn't know things were like that for you. Stay strong, you did the right thing." Even a former classmate, who I hadn't spoken to in 10 years, texted me, "You inspired me to set boundaries with my own family. Want to grab a coffee?" And for the first time in years, I felt like I had my own small but genuine circle of people. I rented out the apartment in Hamburg, paid off all my debts, and finally enrolled in design courses, something I had dreamed of since I was a teenager. Recently, I got hired for a remote job with a German company. And I met someone, a guy who didn't ask about my family, didn't judge me, just listened and smiled. For the first time in so many years, I feel like I'm not alone. But that's another story. Yes, I lost my family. But honestly, I think I had already lost them long ago. I just didn't want to admit it. Now, I have people around me who are there because they want to be, not because they're supposed to be. Sometimes family isn't blood, it's choice. I don't regret keeping my inheritance. For the first time, I live for myself, and I'm not afraid to say no. And you know what? That's freedom. Would you have done the same? Said no even if it meant losing your family? Or would you try to keep the relationship at any cost?